Hello and welcome to Poland Daily Travel. We're here in Krakow and we are on the royal route. In the last installment, we were talking about St. Florian, the patron saint of Poland, and why it was important, and St. Florian's Church, which is where coronations and funeral processions for kings and queens of Poland took place. Behind me, little is more significant than the Battle of Grunwald in Polish history. It took place in 1410 and it solidified Poland as a nation, a kingdom that would continue. This particular statue was put up in 1910. That's on the 500-year anniversary of the Battle of Grunwald. In attendance was the great pianist, Penderecki, who also later would become prime minister and would be instrumental in gaining Poland's independence at the Treaty of Versailles meetings in Paris after World War I, when Poland sprang back onto the map of Europe after having been dissected by Prussia, Germany later, Russia, and the Austrian Empire. Grunwald, you can see, look at the dramatic sculptures here. You can see how important it was. Look at the medieval armor, the huge broadsword. I mean, this is an example of realism in sculpture well before social realism ever existed. No one can look at this monument and these various statues and sculptures without understanding that this is an extremely significant moment in the life of this country. And that's why it's here on the royal route. So you start with the church that contains the relics of the patron saint, coronations, funeral processions of royalty. Then you have the statue of Grunwald. You see it's put in 1910. So this is before Poland regains its independence. But it's almost as if it's a preparation for that. There's a sense, it's almost as if there's a sense amongst Poles that they will get their independence soon enough. And in fact, it only takes another 8 to 9 years before that is achieved. On the 11th of November in 1918, with the cessation of World War I. So here we are in the heart of Poland, in its ancient capital, and we're proceeding on the royal route to the Wawel Castle. We're going to pass a lot more exciting, interesting buildings and monuments on the way, including the main square of Krakow, which is quite incredible. Ask anyone who's ever seen it, and you'll be seeing it soon enough. But for now, it's time to pass on and have a look at the Barbican, which in itself is extremely unique. Stay with us.
Krakow, the ancient capital of Poland, this capital city on the Vistula River in Lesser Poland, remained the hub of the kingdom until the year 1596, a leading center in Poland of economic, cultural, artistic, and academic life. Its old town with St. Mary's Basilica and the Old Cloth Hall is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. There is an enormous amount to see in Krakow, but you have to start somewhere. And we're going to start at the beginning of the Royal Way. It stretches from Florianska Church, outside the ancient walls, through the Florianska Gate, to Wawel Hill, the origin place of the city known as Krakow. There on Wawel Hill, Krakow grew over 1,000 years ago from what had been a Stone Age settlement to a thriving hamlet. It's a fascinating place, and it would take a month or two, or even a lifetime, to really get to know this ancient city. So if you will, by way of introduction, Let's take a walk along the royal route from St. Florian's Church down Florianska Street into the square, that fine Old Town Square which UNESCO has recognized as one of the living monuments of civilization. Let's wander along the route, pausing to look at various quite stunning monuments until we find ourselves by the rolling Vistula River, under the Wawel Hill, near the cave of Krakow's legendary dragon. It's Krakow. It's Poland. It's Poland Daily Travel. Stay with us.
Okay, hello everybody and welcome back. Behind me, you will see an extraordinary edifice, an amazing building. It's the Barbican, and it is 500 years old. It was built in case there might be a Turkish attack, because remember, if you didn't know this already, then I'll tell you now, that Poland had suffered many attacks from the east, and Mongols not being the least of them. And many times Krakow had been burned by Mongols and sacked. They were also afraid that the Turks might attack in 1500. This is sometime after those early Mongol attacks. I remember reading a terrifying book called The Trumpeter of Krakow when I was a kid. And it's all about the boy who goes to the top of St. Mary's Tower and plays blows a bugle to warn that the Mongols are attacking. I still remember that story as a little boy growing up in Virginia. And here I am today, walking on the royal route. And we're talking about the importance of the various monuments and buildings on this route. We had St. Florian's Church, patron saint of Poland, St. Florian. We had the monument to Grunwald, which was dedicated by the great Ignacy Paderewski in 1910, and symbolizing Poland's great victory in 1410 over the Teutonic Knights, who had been invited in as guests and had decided to overstay their welcome. Behind us, this Barbican, yet another symbol of strength. Do you know, it is the best example of this type of medieval fortification that is left in the world. So look at it, it's amazing. 3-meter thick walls. And at one time, imagine the whole walls around the city. There were several of these Barbicans and much more extensive fortifications, outposts, redoubts against possible invasion. There's only one left now, and behind it, as we pass around this, behind it there will be St. Florian's Gate leading to Florianska Street, which is has the highest priced real estate in Poland after Nowy Świat and Krakowskie Przedmieście in Warsaw. So this is indeed valuable, not only in terms spiritually, philosophically, in terms of its Polishness, but also monetarily. And we're going to see what makes Florianska Street tick in just a little while. But for now, just have a look at this beautiful building. And imagine you're prepared to defend Krakow against the marauding invaders all that time ago, 500 years ago, in the year 1498. Stay tuned. More with Poland Daily Travel from Krakow. And we're on the royal route.